Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees dropped the second game in somewhat of a sleeper by a score of 4-2. Now, you might say 4-2 was a close game, but really this game was over pretty much early. And yes, the Yankees mounted a little bit of a rally and a comeback there in the ninth inning, but fell short with the bases loaded with an opportunity to actually go ahead in the game. But unfortunately, Trevino, cold off the bench, flies out to deep center field there. Give you a little bit of a glimmer of hope, but unfortunately not even close to the warning track there. So the Yankees dropped the first two games of this World Series. But a little nugget of hope is that going now back to the Bronx, changes scenery, but also, again, you don't want to cheer someone's injury there, but Shohei Ohtani might be questionable for at least Game 3 or maybe the rest of the series with a partially dislocated shoulder sliding into second base trying to steal a bag there. So the Yankees might have that going for them. So we'll go over the whole game, Game 2. Again, not much to go there because it's kind of a sleeper really through 8 innings until the Yankees did a little something in the ninth. But nevertheless, the big news, though, the Yankees fall behind 2-0 in this best of 7 World Series there. And again, lose 2 more games, and they are done. So we'll get into the Game 2, preview Game 3. A lot of good stuff for you. And plus, you want to be a subscriber to this podcast, get reactions after each game. Plus, it's a normal series, so you get updates throughout the rest of the offseason and moving forward. So wherever you get your favorite podcast, look for Section 420 Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Wherever you're listening right now, hit the subscribe or follow button. And, of course, there's also the YouTube channel. Go there, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, subscribe as well. So the Yankees, after disappointing Game 1 where they had the game twice there, and for the first time in World Series history, a grand slam walk-off in dramatic fashion for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And, obviously people questioning Boone's decision to go with Nestor Cortes in that situation there, again, when they had Tim Hill, also as an option there as a lefty. Going with Nestor Cortes, who got the first out against Ohtani, we say, okay, maybe he did his job at least partially there, but because you're coming out of the bullpen, you have to face a minimum of 3 batters, and all the controversy is whether you should have walked Mookie Betts or not. You should at least gone after him with a bag open there. Maybe something happens. Maybe get Mookie Betts to ground out, pop up, fly out, strike out, chase anything junk. When you load the bases, I know it's lefty on lefty there, but you're really giving yourself no margin for error. So again, a bad move by Boone, and it definitely heard from the fans and the media on that decision there. He obviously is going to go with his career numbers against Ohtani, which because everyone looks at Ohtani as the big star and all that stuff like that. But really, it was a bad decision by Boone, and even early in the game, taking Cole out early, and it did. Even afterwards, Derek Jeter seemed to have the comments as well, citing that he was dominating. Why do you take the guy out of the game after 88 pitches? You're paying this guy $300+ million. I mean, you got him here for these big moments, and now he's in this moment, and you take him out after a single in the 7th inning there. So, not a good start for the World Series for Boone, and also not a good start for Aaron Judge, who continued to struggle and brought that also into Game 2 with 3 strikeouts. I mean, just completely really giving the Yankees nothing. And really, the Yankee offense overall had nothing against Yamamoto, the Japanese import, who kind of turned down the Yankees for the Dodgers there, and it was absolutely brilliant, only giving up 1 hit. Now, the 1 hit was a home run to Juan Soto, but that was it, limited the Yankees there. And on the other side of the ball with Carlos Rendon, we got this tagged up there, didn't really give the Yankees an opportunity in this game. It was really, they're behind before you're going to know it, and just serving up some home runs, one for Tommy Edman, who switched from shortstop out, since he's versatile, to center field there, switch hitter there, going deep left field against Rendon to put the Dodgers up 1-0. Again, the Yankees would answer back with the Soto home run, but other than that, you got absolutely nothing out of this Yankee offense. Again, they only had 1 hit through 8 innings, and it wasn't until the 9th inning until they finally woke up. But other than that, the Yankees kind of slept walk throughout this, and the rest of this game, I meant Yamamoto has put them down 1 by 1, and of course with that Dodger bullpen as well, kept the Yankee bats silent. Dodgers also put up a couple more home runs by Freddie Freeman, who had the big grand slam walk-off in Game 1 there, and then his very next bat, doing this against 2 lefties in a row there, hitting another home run, 2-run shot to put the Dodgers up by a score of 3-1, and then Teoscar Hernandez, who I mentioned before this World Series even started, eats the Yankees alive, whether he was with Seattle or bouncing around with Toronto. He has always crushed the Yankees, and of course he hits a home run as well there, so puts them up by a score of 4-1. And really, you can just turn off the TV at that point there. The game was over. Really no fight from the Yankees. They really couldn't get anything going against Yamamoto. It wasn't until the 9th inning when they brought out the closer, Brandon Treinen, who This is a little sloppy. I mean, you did serve up another leadoff hit to Soto to get the on 3-2 count to at least get the Yankees going a little bit. So that was the Yankees' second hit of the game. Again, you're a World Series team, and your second hit of the game is not until the 9th inning there. So this is how pathetic the Yankee bats were in Game 2. But got the Yankees going a little bit. After that, Judge strikes out, of course, because, again, he's just been absolutely horrible during most of the playoffs and, of course, during this World Series. But Stanton getting all things going with a hot shot. Hit off the bag there, so a little bit of luck. And Soto, who was on second base at the time, able to score and at least get things going for the Yankees. And Treinen was just a little bit sloppy. Gave up a hit to Jazz, hit Rizzo. So, again, he was kind of sloppy all over the place, but was able to collect himself to get a strikeout against Volpe. They have, again, Volpe with the bags juice there with an opportunity to maybe hit a double in the gap or something. They did, switch out Rizzo and put in Oswaldo Cabrera, who's fast there. So, again, a double in the gap could have shifted the score there, especially with the Yankees only down by a score of 4-2. It begs juice there, but Volpe with the strikeout. And then they brought in the lefty to face Wells. Now, it was a decision time by Boone. Now, look, you bring out a lefty there and you figure, all right, well, I don't want to keep Wells in there because the lefty on lefty, Wells is probably at the disadvantage, and he probably was. But the thing is, all right, who are you going to bring up the pinch hit? Well, obviously, if you're going to take out the catcher, you need another catcher to replace him there, because you can't just, take like a Trent Grisham to bat for Wells, or someone like, like that, for example, to bat for Wells, because, you need someone to play the position. So, yes, the only choice would have been Trevino. I did not love the choice. I understand lefty versus righty, but Trevino hasn't swung the bat since like game 3 against Cleveland. Now you're asking this guy to come off the bench cold, hasn't played all game, hasn't played in like a week and a half, and you ask him to come off the bench and put a good swing in there. And he goes after the first pitch. Now look, he gave it a good ride to center field, and for a second, he thought maybe, wow, imagine he hits a grand slam, a grand slam after the Dodgers hit a grand slam against the Yankees for the finish off game 1. Again, it would have been a lovely LA script there, beautifully written there, but not the case. Unfortunately, the ball falls short, and there's just a fly out to center field by Edman there, and the Yankees fall by a score of 4-2, but had it right there again. Bags juiced, 1 out only. Again, they couldn't get a hit from Volpe, who struck out, and then had the deep fly out from Trevino. I did not love the idea. I would have stuck with Wells, and I know lefty on lefty, but at least he'd been in the game for a while. He's been getting some swings. He's hot. He's fresh. It's just to take Trevino, who hasn't played over a week and a half, and ask him to come out and get a big hit like that. It's similar to the same thing they did with Nestor Cortes. Nestor Cortes hadn't pitched in a month, and you're asking him to come off the bench and throw him into like the biggest spot probably of his life. So, again, some questionable decision by Boone. I know statistically it's not terrible, and maybe it's not as terrible as the decision to bring in Nestor Cortes, but I was stuck with Wells in that position, even the lefty on lefty. Just the fact that, look, he's been playing, he's hot, he's fresh, he's in the game. Just to ask the guy to come off a bench like that and take a swing, it's just, I did not love the idea. So, again, Boone not really doing too well so far in these first games of the World Series, and especially Judge as well. Another 3 strikeout performance after striking out 3 times in game 1 there. And, again, the only thing going for the Yankees, as I mentioned, is that Ohtani in the 7th inning tried to slide, and it was kind of more of like a traditional baseball slide, and you see a lot more players now going in hand first with the oven mitt on. Kind of did the old school style with the right foot going down, but by putting his right foot down, he had to position his body, put his left shoulder to brace himself, and it didn't seem like, if you look at the replay, it didn't seem like he really twisted anything bad, but I guess it's the way he hit the ground. Right now, the diagnosis had partially dislocated left shoulder, so he had to exit the game, and they're doing more tests on it now. Manager Dave Roberts for the Dodgers said that he's still probable for Game 3, so it doesn't look like there's like a devastating injury. Yeah, not root for the guy to get hurt like that, and he doesn't exactly kill the Yankees. I mean, yes, he did have that big double in Game 1, but it's not like he's been torching the Yankees. And, really, it's just kind of ironic. I mean, the Yankee pitching hasn't been terrible. I mean, if you look at Game 2, after they took a Rondon out, the Yankee bullpen with 5+ scoreless innings, and in the first 2 games, up to the point of the Freddie Freeman grand slam, they only gave up 2 runs. So if you look at both games, I mean, the Yankee pitching hasn't been terrible overall. I mean, Cole gave you a good start. The bullpen was okay. And, of course, he just had that bad moment with Nestor Cortes when normally he wouldn't even be in there. And even in Game 2, I mean, you kind of held this Dodger offense, okay, yeah, they hit a couple of home runs early, but other than that, you got nothing. So if this Yankee offense could have done something, it was still a winnable game. And even with all that in mind, in the 9th inning, it was right there for the taking for a possible comeback or even go ahead and take the lead there. So, yeah, the Yankee pitcher hasn't been a problem. It's just been the at-bats. And mainly, unfortunately, it's the captain Judge. It's not getting the job done. Gleyber Torres, who, and that guy, I'm not going to kill the guy because he had a great series against the Royals, a really good series against Cleveland. Even if he doesn't hit well in this series, I'll give him a pass. Soto's been good. Judge hasn't been good. Stanton, again, big home run Game 1. hit a laser shot in the ninth there to at least get Soto in to do something there. But you need Judge. Judge has got to step up a little bit, especially going back to the Bronx in Game 3. And I just hope it doesn't get to a situation where he starts hearing the boo birds, because that could very well happen. You could see the frustration mountain, and we saw what happened back in 2022. Game 4 against Houston there. He was getting booed just because he had a horrible series against Houston and even making the last out there. So the captain Judge, with all his accomplishments and everything else there, still not boo-proof from the Yankee Stadium crowd there. So hopefully the change of scenery does something for him positive. Maybe just change it up there. Maybe he gets it going. I don't know. Maybe the urgency of the Yankees being down 2-0 does something for the team just to spark them up a little bit. Now, in terms of pitching there, now the Yankees are going to have a couple of things going for them in the next two games. Number one, that the Game 3 starter there is going to be Walker Buehler, who he's obviously coming off the second Tommy John surgery, did not have a good season. He was 1-6 with an ERA close to 6. So this is a guy that's definitely hittable for the Yankees. So really no excuse if they can't light this guy up a little bit. And for Game 4 for the Dodgers, they say they're not going to even have a starter. They're just going to go to a traditional old school style bullpen game via the Tampa Bay Rays back in the day. So they got Walker Buehler, who's absolutely terrible, at least according to his regular season stats there. And then they don't even have a starter for Game 4, where the Yankees are going to match up with Clark Schmidt and Luis Heel. Not saying that's Koufax and Drysdale there, but nevertheless, you would say at least starting pitching-wise, clearly the Yankees have the advantage there. So if the Yankees ought to do something in the series, this is really their last chance. I mean, you're down 0-3, you're toast. I understand that we had the 2004 comeback against Boston. That's not happening. That's like once in a millennial, once in a lifetime type of thing. If the Yankees go down 3-0, they're done in this series. The only saving grace they got left right now is winning Game 3. And right now, look at the ESPN money line, and actually, at least the odds makers are saying that the Yankees will take Game 3. Again, they got the negative there, which we love if you're the team that wants to win. So the odds makers are saying that the Yankees do come back and win Game 3. So you got that going for them. They got the pitching matchup, and plus the urgency of being down 2-0. I would assume at least to spark a little life in them. Even if the Yankees lose the series, which I figure they would in 6, you don't want to get swept because that's just embarrassing. Even losing in 5 is kind of embarrassing, even though, again, the games relatively were close, the first two in a way, even though Game 2, again, the Yankees were kind of sleepwalking for 8 innings. But you don't want to get swept, so you want, just for some dignity purposes, if you could just win 1 or 2 at home, fine. If you lose it in L.A. or you lose it, then so be it. It's not terrible, but you don't want to get swept. So I think conventional wisdom say the Yankees would probably win Game 3. I would feel good about that. Just the odds and the urgency and everything going around. And plus, again, Ohtani, even if he's in there, I just can't imagine if you got to pulled out of the game 2 days later, you're going to be great and be able to swing as well. So he's probably going to lose a little bit off the swing, so maybe not be 100% Ohtani, and probably won't be 100% for the rest of the way, whatever happens from this point on. So the Yankees got a little bit of a life raft there, but it all matters by Game 3. If they have to win Game 3, if they don't, the series is over, and maybe they even get swept. I don't know at that point. So they have to win Game 3, but they got a few things in their favor. They got the starting pitching matchup. They got now the home field advantage. So again, if they have a tied game situation, again they get the last at bat, and we saw how important that was in Game 1. And of course, you have the Yankee Stadium crowd. The fans will be crazy, nuts in there. Maybe they get into the Dodger players' heads and just the whole deal, the momentum. So got a few nuggets going for the Yankees in this Game 3, but they got to win it. If they don't, they're dead. Catch you next time.